one other piece of breaking news here. Romeo Doubs is going to Connor's Patriots.
Wow.
There we go. Wow. More breaking news. So the former Packers wide receiver had a choice of places to go and has decided to go to the New England Patriots.
How many different places did he have? Like, can you give us like a rough estimate?
I think in the end he had a lot, but he whittled it down, and in the end there were a couple of teams left.
Okay, a couple of teams left, one of them being the Patriots. Patriots, we had heard and thought through Connor's existence, maybe A.J. Brown gets traded up there because of how close he is with Vrabel. Does this completely rule out the A.J. Brown?
No, I don't think it rules it out, but certainly I think it diminishes the importance that a trade needs to happen. I think it gives the Patriots a little bit of flexibility. It adds another receiver to their room. They needed more help there. They're going to get Romeo Doubs here now.
Super Bowl last year. First year as Vrabel head coach. Second year Drake Maye at quarterback. How do you feel about the pickup of Doubs? Obviously, we watch very closely through Ty Schmidt's Green Bay Packers season.
Yeah, very excited, especially because of how massive his head looks in the Guardian cap. I think it'll only look bigger in New England. It's great just because he's been a number one wide receiver. You know, with the Packers, they had Watson for a little, but he was kind of in and out of injuries, and sometimes it was really only Doubs being Jordan Love's target. Him, I believe Mac Hollins still there. Kyle Williams will go into his second year. Very interested to see what the contract is, but hearing Shefty also say, hey, this doesn't rule out A.J. Brown, that's huge. Just adding to the room, though. They added to the pass rush and the edge with Draymond Jones yesterday. Then they did Elijah Vera-Tucker for the O-line, and now they're doing a receiver. They're kind of checking off all the big issue boxes that the Patriots had towards the end of the season. Huge get bringing in Romeo Doubs.
I mean, that Guardian cap is gigantic, but the plays he makes are also special. Doubs was a hell of a player for the Packers.
Yeah, he's so good. It's different types of wide receivers. We talked about the Mike Evans types where it doesn't matter how much space he creates. He's always open because of his size and his catch radius. Doubs can make the tough catches, but he also creates space down after down. So that's the biggest thing with wide receivers. The best ones that we see, they consistently create space. So when you got a quarterback and an offensive play caller like Josh McDaniels, like this is a great pairing for Romeo Doubs in his next chapter in his career. I'm happy for him, too. I know he was dealing with some shit off the field a couple years ago, so I love to see him getting his bag that he earned. And obviously he's a great young player.
Yeah, I'm loving ball again. It's great to see him out there having fun. He's a real talent. Romeo Doubs' deal is expected to be 4 years, $70 million
just a great deal.
with the New England Patriots. Let's head over to the free agency friend zone with Orlovsky and Schreg. Schreg's big deal here for Doubs on day two.
Sure is, and they don't have Stephon Diggs anymore. You insert Romeo Doubs, and that's going to be a big expectation for him to step up. Look, Todd Downing is the wide receivers coach in New England, longtime NFL coach. I have to think, Orlovsky, you were in a Todd Downing offense at one point. His best pal in coaching, a guy that he was with the Jets, is a guy named Nathaniel Hackett, and you know him well. Who was up there in Green Bay the last season watching Doubs on a day-to-day basis? It was obviously Hackett. So there's absolutely someone who can vouch for him. Here's the deal with the Patriots. Everyone is still looking at A.J. Brown as this big fish. But in the meantime, over the nighttime, they went and got Elijah Vera-Tucker, who, when healthy, is still a very good offensive guard. And they pick up Romeo Doubs, who last year showed that he could be a mature NFL player and still be able to get it done. Darius Butler mentioned it earlier. He was suspended for a game by Matt LaFleur and said, hey, just take some time, man. Like, figure out, this is 2 years ago. And it was like immaturity issues. You hear all these things about personal stuff in his life, whatever it was. And the fans went nuts in Green Bay saying, what are we getting? And then he came back and had an outstanding back half of the season 2 years ago. And then last year was fantastic. I could not be happier for Romeo Doubs. $70 million for a guy who people were wondering last year whether he was going to be in the NFL in 2 years based on, this, that, and whatever. Very cool signing for them, but I don't necessarily think they are done. I still think they are in the A.J. Brown market.
Dana, what are your thoughts on Doubs and what he can do for Drake Maye?
Totally changes their offense. I love Romeo Doubs. Like, I love him. I think it's a huge loss for Green Bay, or significant loss for Green Bay. Ty, you can speak to it as well, just being a Packers fan. I would tell you this, like, Doubs is one of those quintessential one-on-one win guys.
Yep.
Like, he wins all the time with his route running. Also, if you watch him catch a football, ball is more often than not caught away from his body. He's got strong hands, which I think is a huge deal when it comes to pass catchers. And just from a New England perspective now, I'm telling you, this is a big deal. Think of the 4 young pieces they have on the perimeter, okay? We'll take Doubs, young piece, boom. Kayshon Boutte, we saw just totally emerge last year. Kyle Williams, who's going to be in his second year, their speedster, and then Travion Henderson. And so we're watching a team that Surprised a lot of people last year. Go to Super Bowl. I love this move. I'm telling everybody, he's healthy. He's a difference maker on the perimeter. He was the go-to guy in Green Bay. This is not some second-day free agency signing. This is a big deal. This is a big acquisition for that offense.
Okay, well, D-Butt and everybody up here said this is a second-day free agency signing. I mean, that is actually what it is. But it is 4 years, $70 million. That's a huge deal. Con man, you're jacked up, brother.
Yeah, jacked up because especially what he said just about like, hey, one-on-one, this guy's going to go win. We haven't had that. Stephon Diggs was that for sure in some spots, but then we saw him in the Super Bowl, really couldn't get open very much. Romeo Doubs being that and just being a great red zone target, I know from watching, Green Bay over the years, having him be that guy for Drake Maye, especially with how young he is huge.
A dependable guy, too.
Yeah.
Dependable. Everything you guys are saying one-on-one. And I don't know why when Dano said Patriots, I just thought like Deion Branch. And I know like outside of the Patriots world, but like Deion Branch was like a go-to guy, very dependable guy, huge moments. And when I see Romeo Doubs, I kind of see glimpses of that. I can't wait to see what this next chapter will be like with him and Drake Maye.
Good for the Patriots, obviously.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we thought they were going to be a little bit more active yesterday. We thought maybe they'd be in for A.J. Brown. Maybe they'd be able to send something to Howie Roseman that was enough to get A.J. Brown back with Vrabel, with Drake Maye, and is going into his third year as maybe the best deep ball thrower in the NFL. So now he's got Doubs. I assume they're not done at that particular position. And the Patriots made Super Bowl in Vrabel's first year.
Yeah,
We're 308 days into this, is what he was saying, or something like that after they lost the Super Bowl. How do you feel about your team? We're 308 days into this. You could tell like that was going to be, whatever the number was, that was going to be like the mantra. Like, hey, this is where we are right now. We need to work our asses off. That's certainly going to help them. Congrats to him getting a bag, too.